Sentry mode activated. Target acquired.
Hey there, Hunters, and welcome back to the Gunners Guild. Today we're going to go over the patch notes for Iceborne, some bowgun information that we have here somewhere, and just some thoughts on what to expect from Iceborne gunning. Nothing too special, so let's go. So if you didn't know, Capcom put out the patch notes for Iceborne. I'll leave it in the link in the description, but there are some points I wanted to go over and how it affects gunning and some other little things. It's nothing I didn't already test or expect, so no real surprises, but let's go ahead and start. Starting with bow, because that's pretty easy. Basically every aspect of bow got nerfed, all the motion values were nerfed, including Dragon Pierce. Arc Shot KO was nerfed, you pretty much get it. It's pretty understandable as bow was way too nutty. My only thoughts on this is that Dragon Pierce nerf, like, why? It sounds like rather than nerf specific things about bow that were overpowered, Capcom just blanket nerfed every aspect about it to be safe. And that's the only thing that doesn't really sit right with me. Like, why Dragon Pierce? Why Dragon Pierce? For bowguns, cluster have damage nerf and it can't be point blank shot anymore, which is a huge deal to be honest. That means clusters are going to take longer to detonate and monsters can easily reposition out of it now. They also have a maximum of 5 bomb berries instead of 10, so rip clusters. Spread ammo can aim higher. Okay, no damage nerf, so that's cool. We get to combine more ammo for some status and elemental ammo, so that's a plus. Normal 3 and Pierce 3 got a slight motion value buff, which I had tested in the beta. Pierce got like 1 motion value higher, which is actually good for Pierce, and normal is like 3. Wyvern ammo only got a tiny damage boost, and I believe it was only on the secondary hit. It was like 6 damage more, so it's nothing really. Sticky's got a little bit more damage. Again, no surprise there. Here's something I didn't catch though. Elemental ammo. Got the elemental damage nerfed, but the raw buffed. It explains why it hits harder in the beta, but like, why would you nerf element on element ammo? I don't really get this one. I guess it might be easier to scale this way since you can actually buff the raw a bit more. But okay, whatever. And finally, heavy bowgun got cooldown reductions on special ammo. I don't know how much, I didn't actually test that in the beta, but that's cool. Wyvern Heart really needed it, so I was pretty surprised there. I was hoping light bowgun would get a slight reduction too, but that's no big deal. So yeah, no surprises there. We all tested this in the beta, but at least it confirms that the beta is going to be pretty accurate to the official release. Okay, so let's move on to armor skills. For the most part, all the skills nobody used got buffed, and all the good skills got tweaked or nerfed. There are some that stood out to me though, so let's just run through that really quick. Tool Specialist is now 30% cooldown on tools, which is actually really cool, and it's an equal 10% per rank instead of 5, 10, 20. Crit element and crit status. So it says that the scaling was increased. For crit status, it specifically states that the heavy weapons got higher scaling, but crit element just says it's across the board increased. This I have questions about. So bow already has a 35% modifier for crit element already compared to greatsword's 20%. Now when they say it was increased, do they really mean that across all weapons? Because I can't fathom them increasing bow crit element even higher. That just seems insane. They nerfed every aspect of bow, why would they make the most important part better? And since crit status specifically mentioned weapons that got changed and crit element didn't, I have to assume that it's across all weapons. Anyway, I just seriously doubt, but it's interesting to see, so, you know, we'll see. Non-elemental boost is 5% now over 10%. Yeah, we've known that forever, and this skill is still super good. It's 1 level 2 decoration for 5% more raw. Yeah, you're still taking it every time. Heavy artillery. Dude, what the jeebus? 100% cannon damage? Now, I'm wondering if this is because they're not going to scale cannon damage into master rank, and you're just going to have to use this for any siege monster. I mean, I'm not complaining, it's just 2 level 1 decorations, but it's 100% damage? Dude, that's insane. Slugger is 10% more KO, no complaints there. Stamina Thief is the same. Now the real treat here is that you can just use the level 1 for 20% on these now. That's pretty good value. Stamina Thief is pretty lackluster to be honest, but in the event that we get a rapid fire exhaust 2 light bowgun, Stamina Thief will be great. And so if you didn't know, exhaust damage to the face does KO damage. So yeah, exhaust ammo can KO, and it actually does it pretty well. But if we get a rapid fire exhaust 2, dude, it would KO really fast. And having just 1 rank of Stamina Thief to get 20% more exhaust on it, yeah, that'll be pretty good. Spare Shot was nerfed by an unknown amount, and I've been saying this would happen for weeks, so I'm not surprised in the slightest. They gutted clusters, and the only thing that made clusters amazing was Spare Shot RNG, so might as well nerf Spare Shot. And now, I'm not mad about this at all, because hopefully it's useless now and we could stop fishing for Spare Shot RNG in our runs, but I still would have preferred them to just revert it back to the Generations version of Emo Saber, where the saved ammo goes into the reserves rather than right back into the clip. This would keep the clip sizes and DPS the same and would just give us more ammo, which would have been just fine. Agitator got nerfed, no idea why, nobody used Agitator, but okay. Weakness Exploit was tweaked. It still grants 50% crit, but only if the monster is weakened by the Crutch Claw. Otherwise, it's 30%. I mean, it's still fine either way. Critical Eye got buffed because reasons. Heroics, here's another odd one. So the armor skill was gutted, but I have no idea why. Nobody used the armor skill. Everybody ate for feline heroics instead. And before you say, oh, well, it probably affects the food skill too, well, there's a section on the patch notes for food skill changes, and it's not listed there. It's only here in the armor skills, so I think the food skill is unchanged. So heroics didn't really change, so okay. And that's about it for the gunner side of patch notes, so I just want to quickly touch on some other things that I wanted to, bring to light. First is that Gun Lance looks like it just got buffed across the board, which is great. Charge shelling is faster and easier. It got guard point on the new Wyvern Stake Blast, and Slap Lance doesn't knock players around. The scaling for full burst is increased, and we get level 6 emos. So it's great. Likewise, Hunting Horn is just straight up better. Animations are faster, backswing stronger, encores are more controllable. Great, love it. And for monster tweaks, it looks like every monster now will build up flash immunity over time, so no more flash spams on any monster. That's totally fine. Everything else seems pretty minute. Doesn't really matter that much, but feel free to take a look at the patch notes. And that's basically it for the patch notes that really affect me. Now, we have a little bit more information on bowguns, so we have the screenshot here that shows higher level bowgun with the mod screen. There are 2 more mods here that Capcom has not officially shown, which are the Long Barrel and Power Barrel. Now, we've known about these for a long time, as there was some information during the beta about 2 more bowgun mods. One is for critical distance, and the other is for pierce effectiveness, which makes sense because Power Barrel used to add damage, but we already have damage mods, so there's no really point in having another one. And pierce effectiveness, I don't really know about that. I assume it means like pierce ticks will be closer together or something. Maybe it affects elemental pierce, not sure. Oh, speaking of elemental pierce though, they didn't mention in the patch notes that they behave slightly differently now. Previously, elemental pierced and it would hit each hit zone 1 time as it crossed. Now it still works like that, but it can no longer skip over gaps in the monster. Like, if you were going to shoot a Diablo's tail and aim across the tail to tag the wings as well, it would just fizzle once it left the tail. On the Tigrex fight, I couldn't understand why going from the pot of the face never pierced. Well, that's because there's a gap of air in between the two. When I redid the fight and went shoulder to shoulder, it would hit the arm, the chest, and the other arm. This isn't a huge change, but it does mess up some good shooting angles, especially if the monster staggers and moves, it's going to ruin everything. But anyway, back on topic, sorry I got sidetracked. So, this screenshot with mods, there's another thing to note. The amount of reload and recoil mods appears to be capped at 4 according to the table. So it looks like that's what we're getting. We're getting 4 mod slots, not 5. It looks like light bowgun's only going to get 1, and it's possible heavy bowgun could get 5, but I'm going to lean towards 4 as well. Why would they make another table to split the 2? Anyway, before you say, hey, it's not max rank bowgun, it could have another slot, well, the chart would show 5 entries from reload if you could have 5 slots. If you grab a level 1 bowgun currently, you can see the table with 3 mod slots, even though it can only use 1. So I'm guessing that we're still going to get 4 mod slots, not 5. This kind of sucks, I'll be honest. I was hoping for 5. 1 more doesn't really add much, especially when we have so many new mods. Trying to manage recoil, reload, damage, special ammo, barrels, all that stuff's going to be kind of annoying. So unless we get some great bowguns that don't really need a ton of recoil and reload mods, I don't see most of the new ones getting used all that much. And that brings me to my other topic, which is the expectation for guns. Now, I'm not trying to be negative here just because I'm sure there's going to be a ton of crazy fun stuff for gunners to play with, but I just wanted to make you all aware of another thing. Bowguns don't change ammo size, recoil, or reloads when they upgrade. Unless it branches off, the only thing that's going to change with upgrades is the raw and maybe slots for affinity. So this means that the current bowguns we have won't really change with master rank, which is a scary thought because prior to Kulf Taroth, bowguns were awful. Heavy bowgun only had clusters because anything else it could do, light bowgun could do better. And it was only Kulf that gave us a Glutton and Horn that gave bowguns some salvation. And with clusters now obsolete, I'm not really sure what's going to happen. Of course, we have new monsters and variants to give us new bowgun options, but that's basically it. We just have to hope that we get some new good bowguns, and because I don't think the Kolv gear is going to get Master Rank variants, at least not right away. Maybe sometime down the line with Master Rank Kolv. So bowguns are going to be shit out of luck in that department. With that though, there are some base bowguns that should still be fine. With a raw increase, Shattercryst and Teal'c's artillery could be very nice. And for light bowguns, Joe, Val, and Juratotus still have solid bowguns already. Now obviously Master Rank won't invalidate our current gear. I'm sure we'll be just fine with our high rank gear at least up through the end of Master Rank before we start to min-max again. So Glutton and Decay all the way. I just wanted to let everyone know that the bowgun meta is going to be all over the place for a while since we're going to have so many things to reconsider again, so don't overlook anything. Pierce and normals were probably just fine alternatives to spread now, at least until Master Rank Glutton curses the lands again. And without spare shot to fall back on, light bowgun and small clip sizes are going to matter more than ever. Okay, enough with the pessimistic speech. I wanted to finish up this video with things I'm hyped for in Iceborne, at least would like to see. First, heavy bowgun combinations with the new scope. 30% damage and supercritical distance. I've never checked to see if you could use the scope on Wyvern ammo, but dude, if you can, oh my god. And with cluster is going to be gone, Wyvern may fulfill my need to see explosions. Teal'c's artillery could be a monster, and I really want to see that happen. It also has Wyvern Heart, and I know that works for scope, so that on top of having clusters and Wyvern, oh my god, that heavy bowgun could be just a champ. Also, the scope with Wyvern Snipe now having a shorter cooldown. With Focus, I wonder how low it's really going to be. Sleep bombing with heavy bowgun should be a ton of fun now, since the new Wyvern Snipe is a one hit and doesn't wake up monsters. And in the beta, I've sniped Tigrex out of a sleep for 1200 damage. So just thinking how to make a snipe sleep bombing build setup, oh, that's going to be so much fun. I don't have to explain light bowgun since the counter mines kind of speak for themselves, but I seriously want to see more ammo combinations that we didn't get before, like rapid fire slice, pierce, and stickies, which were all things in previous games. But more than that, autoloader. A new mechanic to World which didn't really take off because we never got any good ammo with it, but autoload on spread 3, normal 3, pierce 3 would all be amazing for light bowgun, as they don't have to rely on free element, spare shot, or recoil mods, and yes, autoload's a recoil, not a reload. Anyway, there's just so much that could be. It entirely overshadows any negatives I may be saying. As far as bow goes, I don't think bow is going to be so bad. Yes, everything got nerfed, but it was well deserved, and with all the new stuff we're getting, I'm pretty sure bow's going to play just fine. I'm not worried in the slightest. Yes, there will be nerfs, but who cares? More stuff is more stuff, and ultimately, more Monster Hunter is never bad. So that's that. Patch notes, gunner expectations, hype stuff. Is it September yet? Alright, well thanks for watching, and good luck out there, hunters, and whatever you may be hunting.